Hi, welcome to episode 2 of the Muse series, a series about how to maintain a healthy relationship with yourself and your art. I'm Sam, an artist who gets yelled at by their cat all day, and in this episode we're going to talk about value. We are going to talk about the value you give yourself as a lovely human being who is sharing their creativity with the world. I'm also going to talk about the value that you give to your work. And I'm not talking about monetary value, I'm talking about the role that it plays in your life as well as the role it plays in the lives of others. I'm talking about why it's valuable that you are making art. And just a couple things. There has been constant construction downstairs since I finished recording the last video, so I'm hoping they're going to be a little quiet today. It seems like they've been a little quiet this week, but if there's extra noise, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. So in the last episode, we talked about external sources of validation, which has its uses, but it's not always reliable. When you're going through a rough patch, it's important to have the self-esteem to build yourself back up. And I know it can be kind of uncomfortable to say nice things about yourself or to give yourself value because it feels, it can feel selfish or weird or like you're being arrogant, but or you're just an artist and you're like me and you're just a super self-critical creature that doesn't know how to say anything nice about yourself, and it takes practice. So we're going to work on that today because it's really important to your well-being and to having an emotionally and mentally sustainable creative practice. So let's start with valuing ourselves. So if you're stuck on where to even start when it comes to valuing yourself, here are some examples of things that I really value in other artists, and maybe you can see some of these traits in yourself. Skill. Do you value your skills, the acquisition of technical knowledge, the time and concentration you put into every choice that shapes your creations? Or perhaps the skill of being able to express yourself, to translate your thoughts and ideas into something tangible. I know many artists who love building their skill set and talking about the technical side of art and the craft of what they do. They love expanding their skills to support their main interests, and they really could talk all day about the technical process of art, and it's fascinating when they do. Vulnerability. Do you feel comfortable talking about your struggles and successes with others? Do you share your personal thoughts and experiences with your audience in an honest way? Do you have a strong understanding of your boundaries that allows you to let your walls down in a safe way? There's something very human about vulnerability, and it's easy to connect with people who share their genuine selves. Vulnerability allows you to not only see the art, but also see and connect to the human behind that art. Enthusiasm. Are you overflowing with passion and energy for art? Do you love discussing topics related to your work? Do you feel extra creative in group settings or when sharing your work? Do you bring a level of excitement to the table that kindles the excitement and creativity of others? There are artists out there who are so enthusiastic about creative work that it kindles my own excitement. It makes me really happy and it's inspiring. There are people out there who can bring the enthusiasm 100% of the time, and I deeply appreciate it. Something that I could never do. It's amazing. Openness. Do you love exploring new ideas and following your curiosity? Are you open to taking risks and learning from your mistakes? Do you enjoy sharing what you've learned in order to enrich your community? Openness is a valuable trait for growth, both for the individual and for communities as a whole. Introspectiveness. Does your curiosity often lead you to examine your own thoughts and experiences? Are you sensitive to the subtleties of human emotion? Do you share your personal discoveries in a way that resonates with other people and leads them to self-exploration? Introspectiveness can make you very sensitive to human emotions and the complexities of human experience, and that can make you better at connecting to others on a deeper level. Confidence. Are you brave enough to take action and face your fears? Do you hold the understanding that even if you experience rejection, you'll be okay? Confidence isn't about being fearless or arrogant. It means you're able to do something while understanding you'll survive the consequences of the worst outcome. If you're confident, it's likely that you're great at overcoming challenges and facing really difficult fears. Kindness. Are you compassionate and willing to help others? Do you enjoy giving back to your community? Are you good at encouraging others or helping shy people feel more comfortable? Are you able to treat yourself gently when you're struggling? Are your boundaries strong enough that you can give to others without draining yourself or creating an unsafe environment for yourself? Kindness is a wonderful thing, and the people in my life who have been really kind to me really stick out. So perhaps you can identify some of these traits in yourself, but the why of this value is specific to you. You may be kind or confident or introspective, but why does that make you valuable? Is it enjoyable for you to practice that trait? Why is it enjoyable? Is it valuable because it helps others feel seen or it helps the community flourish? Is it important to your process? Does it align with your personal morals or make you a better human? Knowing the why can help ground these abstract ideas and will give you a better understanding of yourself, what you care about, and what you're struggling with in terms of how you view yourself and value yourself. You can go down a long path of questions to explore these possibilities, with one question leading to an answer that leads to another question and to another answer. I encourage exploring how your relationship with yourself manifests in relation to what you see as your strengths and weaknesses in your process and in your work. Here are some exercises for valuing yourself. First, grab a piece of paper and something to write with. Now write, I am, and fill in that blank with something that you value about yourself or a trait that you value about yourself. Next, write a sentence or two getting into the specifics of why that trait makes you valuable. For example, I am determined. My determination helps me push through challenges and see projects through to their completion. See? It's easy. So try to do at least 10, and if you can, push yourself to do 20. Pushing yourself may help you make some discoveries, kind of like when you draw 100 thumbnails to get to the really juicy ideas. If there's a trait you'd like to explore in more depth, ask yourself some questions about those couple sentences that you wrote, and then write more, and then ask some more questions. If you're looking for some questions to start with, check out the worksheets. There's links somewhere on one of these sides here, and I'll tell you more at the end of the video too. Now let's talk about valuing your work, valuing art. Art is a vast thing, and it's important to get some perspective on the role it plays in our lives, both as someone who is making art and someone who is experiencing art. Often arts are the first thing to be defunded or they're dismissed as entertainment, but art is an essential part of humanity and, in my opinion, one of the better parts of humanity. Creativity, imagination, and the arts have, in some capacity, been interwoven with the human psyche since prehistoric times. The oldest known cave painting is over 40,000 years old. And in the terms of our short little human lives, that is old as There are animal figurines and human figurines. You may know about all these female figurines that have been found, such as the Woman of Willendorf. And all of these suggest creation from observation of the world and perhaps self-observation in reference to those female figurines. The oldest artifacts of musical instruments, specifically flutes, date to around the same time. So this desire to observe and create is ancient. It's old, and it's pretty cool that we're still participating in this ancestral behavior. Art also plays a role in the documentation of human culture and history and helps us to enrich and expand our knowledge. Throughout history, art has documented human experience and provided us with information on changing cultures. Even when you don't get art, there's a lot of information that you can glean from it. Who made it? Who was it made for? Who was meant to see it? How was it intended to be displayed and viewed? How was it received by its audience? How was it made? Where were those mediums acquired, or how were they acquired? Why was it made? What was its intended purpose? The history of art can tell us so much about the emotions, ideas, beliefs, and practices of different cultures. And it can also tell us about our own culture and the way that we choose to interpret any given piece in our current day, and how our interpretations of a piece shift over time as our perspectives change and our knowledge expands. Art can also provide valuable information in a unique way that enriches our knowledge in other fields of study, such as history, science, and technology. For example, can you imagine a biology textbook without illustrations or diagrams? That's art. It's very technical art, but it's art all the same. Both art and science can deal with observation and examination of the natural world, but they do so in different ways that are capable of working together to provide a more complete understanding of a subject. Art is also a form of expression, and it allows people to communicate their ideas and feelings. It allows them to harness emotions to inspire others or challenge the status quo. In this way, it is influential and an irreplaceable companion to social movements, revolutions, and politics, for better or worse. Training in the arts can make you better at communicating ideas on an emotional and human level. Art can also be therapeutic for both the artist and the audience. It can be physically therapeutic through engaging the senses or using coordinated movement. It can be mentally and emotionally therapeutic by reducing stress, allowing us to express or experience catharsis, and or inducing a meditative state. It allows us to create meaning for ourselves by empowering us to take ownership of our feelings and experiences as we express them. It allows us to transform our grief and trauma by exploring and retelling our experiences from a new perspective. Art also allows us to connect to each other. It helps us to build friendships and communities. It gives us a medium to engage with stories and perspectives that are outside of our own experience. It allows us to enjoy our time being alive and to flex our imagination and creativity. And it also aids in problem solving and self-discovery. Things like film, video games, tabletop and RPG games, theater, music, dance, reading novels and short stories. All of these things can be communal activities, and they can shape and enrich our lives. They're entertainment, sure, but they make our lives more full and interesting. So the next time you're getting really down on yourself and you feel like your art is self-serving or it's not contributing anything useful to the world, remember all of this. Thank you for for making art and enriching people's lives. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's super valuable. So if you are forgetting that, just come watch this video. Let me take these like 3 minutes to yell at you about how everything you're doing with art is good. It's good for you. It's good for the world. It's nice. We need art. Thank you. Okay. I'm done. I'm gonna walk away. So here's an exercise for you. Write a full page about why your art is valuable to you. I've made a list of questions on the worksheet that will help you fill up a page if you're having trouble doing that. If you need a place to start and you're feeling comfortable with it, you could ask other people why they enjoy your art. If you're feeling really vulnerable about these exercises, remember that you don't have to share it with anyone but yourself. But please do say some nice things about yourself because you deserve it. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Please remember to value yourself as an artist and as a human. Value art because it's rad. And specifically find ways to value your art and your process. In-depth worksheets and episode transcripts are available for free over on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/samgay, spelled SAMGUAY. You can show your love and support for this series by sharing it with a friend or contributing $1 or more to my Patreon. Also, I decided to go in and do all of these exercises for myself. I'm specifically going to be posting them for my patrons because they're always there supporting me, and I feel like I can be really messy and go behind the scenes with them. So if you're interested in that, you can join me on Patreon. And if you want to check out any of my other work, you can go to samgay.com, same spelling, SAMGUAY. I hope this video was inspiring or helpful for you. And in our next episode, we're going to talk about fear, which should be fun. Yeah. So I'll see you in a few weeks.